Whenever a man is pure at heart and says his prayers by night, may become a wolf when the wolfbane bloom and the moon is full and bright. Well, if you don't know where that's from, then you've never seen the movie. And as you can tell by the subject of this video, that you'll be able to tell what this video is all about. So, right after this brief interruption, we'll be back and we'll be discussing werewolf movies. See you in a couple. Hello, YouTube. And today we're going to be discussing a different type of horror movie. Usually I'll discuss like a movie. Sometimes I'll discuss a genre of movies. Sometimes I'll discuss a subgenre of movies. And today, of course, since it is October and we are in the midst of, getting close to Halloween, I've been featuring mostly all horror movies this month. And this time around, we're not going to be discussing a certain movie. We're going to be discussing a subgenre of the horror, and that is werewolf movies, or Wolfman, whichever you prefer. Lycanthrope, if you so choose. Lycanthrope is a werewolf, by the way. Actually, as all of you know, that werewolves, wolfmen, or whatever you want to call them, come out when the moon is full. And so we're going to be discussing werewolves because this Sunday will be the full moon of October. And what a better time to watch werewolf movies for Halloween than on a werewolf, a full moon night, to talk about werewolves, to watch werewolf movies. So we're going to be discussing a few of the movies that I think that, this is what you want to do, some good movies you can look up, or maybe you already have them. So we're going to start out with actually the best werewolf movie of all. And you cannot beat Lon Chaney as the Wolfman. I mean, that movie was, and still is, the best Wolfman werewolf picture that, that's my phone ringing, and I'm going to ignore it because I don't want to take the call right now. So, but we'll let this kind of finish out so it'll stop. I should have silenced my phone, but as you can tell, even my phone is decked out for Halloween. Okay, good, it stopped. So, the original Wolfman with Lon Chaney Jr. is probably by far the best werewolf/Wolfman movie that you can see. Now, me personally, I love the black and white ones, and you can't beat the werewolf, the Lon Chaney Wolfman movie. As Lon Chaney and Claude Rains plays his dad. And of course, we all know the story of, Larry Talbot. That's who Lon Chaney Jr. plays. He is bitten by a werewolf, obviously, a gypsy werewolf, and becomes one himself. And that's basically pretty much the whole thing about any of the werewolf movies is, they're obviously bitten by a werewolf. And of course, in that movie, the one saying that they use, you heard at the very beginning of this video. Even when a man is pure at heart and says his prayers by night, may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the moon is full and bright. And then, of course, the other famous saying from that one also is the gypsy woman. She goes, "He who is bitten by a werewolf and lives shall become a werewolf themselves," all that. So, I mean, you just cannot beat. So, if you don't have the original Wolfman with Lon Chaney Jr., go get it. If you can, I mean, me personally, like I said, I love the black and white movies. And if you can, I know there are some younger people that are probably watching this maybe. And if you can stomach a black and white movie, which, like I said, I think it just gives it more of a creep factor. But you need to watch the original Wolfman with Lon Chaney. The music is great. The atmosphere, it's always, that's what I love about black and white, is it gives it this creepy, eerie, fog, in the woods, and you can see the werewolf and all that. So, I definitely recommend watching The Wolfman with Lon Chaney Jr. But we'll go over some other werewolf movies too. Another one of my favorite werewolf movies, and it is a little more modern. I guess you could say modern if you want to count. I think it's the late 70s, maybe it'd be early 80s. Sorry, and that would be American Werewolf in London. And that movie, it is such a good movie for, a more modern werewolf movie. Of course, it involves, the guy who gets bitten by a wolf and he becomes a werewolf, and he keeps getting haunted by his friend who got killed by the werewolf. When are people going to learn that when you're giving advice in a horror movie that you follow that advice? Where they said, stay off the moors. In other words, stay on the path. Don't go in the moors. But guess what? They wound up going in there, and then of course they got attacked by the werewolf, and the one is killed, and that's the one that comes back and keeps haunting the guy who became the werewolf, wanting him to kill himself before he kills the, other people or whatever. But it's a good movie. It even has a couple of little funny spots in it, like where he wakes up in a zoo after being a wolf the night before, and he goes and steals these kids' balloons, and this little British kid goes up to his mom and he goes, "Mom," he goes, a naked American stole my balloon. It's just funny. At least I thought it was. I don't know. But it's a good movie. American Werewolf in London is another must-see. And that also was one of the first ones to really portray somebody turning into a wolf and how painful it could be turning into a wolf. You see the body morph and all that. So, yeah, it's really good. And the Howling, which is another one of my favorite werewolf movies, it also, shows turning into a werewolf and how, it could be painful or whatever. But I love The Howling. The Howling is a really good werewolf movie. I'm trying not to give the plots away too much, so that way, hopefully some people will take my advice and watch these movies. That's why I'm doing the video now, so hopefully some people will see it. And if they see it after the full moon, they'll say, hey, maybe I can watch these, in November's full moon, or, next Halloween, in the full moon, next year. So, some other good werewolf movies. Let's see. Well, they made several Howling movies, most of which really weren't that good. The second one was okay. It had Christopher Lee in it, which, everybody knows who Christopher Lee is. British actor, known for doing a lot of cool, really creepy movies, from the Hammer film genre, which is all British horror, which a lot of those are really good. Anyway, some other werewolf movies that I would recommend would be, there's a movie called Bad Moon, and it's pretty good. It's more of a up-to-date werewolf movie. I think it came out in the 90s or 2000s, and it's a pretty good movie too. So I mean, there's Bad Moon. There's one called Big Bad Wolf, which that was made, definitely made in the 2000s, and it was so-so. I'll watch it, but it's not on my top 5 werewolf movies or anything. So, and then they got, other great werewolf movies. They got Werewolf of London, which that one's pretty good. That's another classic black and white one. But, and with American Werewolf in London, they had American Werewolf in Paris, which I don't know, in my opinion, they probably really shouldn't have made that movie. But it is what it is, Sometimes they'll do sequels, and sometimes they're good, and most of the time they're not. But I'm trying to see if there's any other werewolf movies. Like I said, you can only watch so many werewolf movies on Halloween, or, during a full moon, because, night only lasts so long. So, but those ones that I listed are ones that you really should see, even if you want to watch something a little newer, like Big Bad Wolf. That one's okay. But, and they've had some other werewolf movies, and then they had some, kind of involving wolves, but they really weren't werewolves, like Wolfen. That's more or less about shapeshifters or whatever. But, a lot of the werewolves, of course, the way to kill a werewolf is with a silver bullet. Oh, and that's the other good werewolf movie. How can I have forgotten Stephen King's Silver Bullet? That is another really good werewolf movie. I mean, it's it's definitely a good Stephen King movie. And it's got Gary Busey in it, and this kid, he has the silver bullet. It's his kind of like a power chair, but it's a souped up power chair. And there's a lot of really good parts in that one too. There's even some good comedy parts. Gary Busey definitely made that movie. So I highly recommend that you watch Stephen King's Silver Bullet, because Gary Busey definitely has some really good one-liners in that movie. So here's my top ones that I would definitely recommend that you watch. Of course you can't, the original Wolfman with Lon Chaney Jr., then there's Silver Bullet with Gary Busey, that, Stephen King's Silver Bullet. Then there's American Werewolf in London, The Howling. I mean, there's just, all kinds of different kinds of werewolf movies that you can watch. But the ones that I listed are the ones that, I think are definitely worth the watch. So if you've never seen them, I suggest that, you get them and watch them. If you, if you want werewolf movies, like if they're, your cup of tea, which I do love werewolf movies. So, anyway, I guess that'll be about it. I'm going to wrap this up, and I hope all of you out there take my advice, and this Sunday the I think it's the 9th. I think the Sunday's the 9th. Today's the 6th, and today is Thursday, so Friday the 7th. Yeah, and the 9th. So Sunday night, October 9th, will be a full moon. So watch those werewolf movies. Oh yeah, and you can't forget, you gotta listen to the song Werewolves of London by Warren Zevon. And then, of course, like on American Werewolf in London, the soundtrack to that is great. They got Bad Moon Rising and Moon Dance and stuff like that. So, yeah, they play a lot of good music in American Werewolf in London. So, anyway, that's going to wrap this up. This is, been my video, The Best of Werewolves. So, anyway, alright. Enjoy watching those werewolf movies, and I'll see you on my next video. Alright, everybody, peace. That's my best werewolf. Sorry. I digress. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and remember that if you did enjoy this video, to please leave a comment at the bottom. You can leave a comment. Please keep it respectful. And if you like this video, then of course you'll want to like the video. And if you like the content of this video or anything else that's on my channel, then you might want to subscribe to the channel. Then you'll want to share the video. That way other people can see my content. And remember, all subscriptions are appreciated. And then, of course, you'll want to bash that notification bell. Bash that notification bell. That way, whenever I go to upload a new video, you will be able to get notified that I have uploaded another video. So remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, and bash that notification bell. Alright, see you on the next video. Peace.